Hey kids, welcome to the MythBusters Aftershow. We are taking your questions for the MythBusters Revisit episode. Without further ado, let's begin. First question, how do you feel about revisit episodes? Do you get excited to test out the fan theories, or do you get frustrated that people are dissing you? Not frustrated.
No.
No. We take accurate and reasonable criticism completely seriously.
Yeah, and if we've got something wrong, we're more than happy to address it to make it right.
And for my mind, I think that it's maybe one of the most important things we've done over the 13 years of making MythBusters is go back and retest old methodologies with new tests and coming to different results. There's nothing that shows more clearly that finding the truth with a scientific experiment is a real moving target and requires real rigor. Rigor across an episode, but also across multiple seasons. So to me, I feel like, yeah, like Jamie does, it's a responsibility and one that I'm really happy that we're able to indulge in.
Yeah, not many other shows, if any, really do that.
No. Also, this just in, all those Nostradamus predictions, total crap. Huh, who knew? All right, next question. The first drifting episode looked incredible, but you made this one look even better. How?
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with the aerial shots.
Yeah, so we've been using unmanned aerial systems, what a lot of people refer to as drones, for a couple of years now, a few years. And our camera operator, Duncan Clark, has gotten just really excellent at using these cameras, not just as like a cool flying camera toy, but as an intrinsic part of the storytelling that we do. And I think the follow shots and the chase shots of the cars in this drifting episode are a testament to his incredible piloting, for one.
And the dust actually made it look pretty racy.
Yeah, pretty epic. All right, next question. Jamie drove and Adam drifted, and you compared the two times, but that's comparing apples with oranges. Why didn't you both drive both ways? Not an unreasonable question, but...
Although we did address that in the show.
Yeah.
And the simple fact is that we have been trained pretty identically over the years, so it's not surprising that our performance should be the same. Our every time that we've gone against each other and swapped, it's like...
It's been pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah.
And even more than that, we had Conrad watching us both drive and said, you're both driving pretty close to an effective driving limit. So as far as he was concerned, looking at our tests, they were as good as could be.
Yeah.
Next question. Did you ever just take the cars out for a spin when the cameras aren't rolling just for fun? Mm-hmm. Yep. Actually, a few years ago when we were doing Spy Car, I did this one morning before the crew showed up. We were down in this location in Monterey we call Zombie Town, and I was fanging it around the corners with this little sports car we had. This is first Spy Car. And I took a turn too wide, and I slammed the front driver's wheel into a curb, and I bent the wishbone. And that was...
We only had one of those
We
cars.
only had one of those cars, and we're standing there trying to figure out how to make this car work for the rest of the day. And Jamie looks at my truck, which has a winch on the front, and he's like, "How strong is that?" So we parked my truck on a hill, and we put the winch to the wishbone, and we tied the other part of the car to a house.
To a post.
To a post in front of the house, and we pulled the wishbone back into submission. It was good enough to drive for the rest of the day. Yeah, that was a lovely one. But since then, we don't do a lot of extreme driving without the cameras rolling. Next question, you said that drifting on dirt is not faster, so why do rally people do it? Well, it's specifically because, here's the thing, they do and they don't. They drift around certain turns in which it's efficacious to, but they don't when it's not. But the problem is that when you look at footage or highlight reels of a rally, they're going to cut to those shots because those are exciting and those are the shots you expect. Again, I think this all stems back from Hollywood movies making us think that drifting is faster. Therefore, sports coverage of rally car driving is favors the drifting because it's what people think is the super fast, but it's not happening all the time.
No, just in certain parts.
Yeah, just in very specific locations. So there's a big difference between Formula Drift, where drifting is stylistically an important part of the race, and rallying, where they're going across dirt, and occasionally it makes more sense to drift around a corner than it does to slow down and take that corner without sliding. Next question, can I try this at home?
Not so much.
No. Next, also, good luck on your 18th birthday. Next question. Those aquarium high-speed shots were some of the best ever. What is your favorite high-speed?
Oh, high-speed shots. I think my favorite high-speed shot would be of the dump truck with the nose on it.
With the cars like the Busby Berkeley Ballet.
Yeah.
That's an amazing one. I also am particularly fond of the scale underwater explosions when we were making fruit smoothies.
Yeah.
I think that one's particularly gorgeous. Oh no, sorry, I tell a lie. It's blown out of the water when we made the big 6-foot by 4x4 tank here in the shop, and we blew up small amounts of black powder underwater, and it's gorgeous. All right. Next question. When MythBusters ends, can I have the high-speed camera? Well, that depends.
Yeah, if you've got a lot of money.
Yeah, you got $100,000, then it's yours. Next question. Given you proved that a lighter can stop a ricocheting bullet, do you think you should revisit other objects you busted, like the laptop or iPad or hair weave? iPod, sorry. I think that we've proved the rule that, yes, a ricochet slows a bullet down significantly. Therefore, I think by showing it with the lighter, we've kind of extended that to a host of other things.
Well said.
Next question. Why did you do your what is bomb-proof above the water? That seemed to make things really awkward.
We did explain that, and it is that the visuals of the blast pressure, the pressure wave moving across the water, was the only way that we could really see. I mean, we could have gotten the data that we needed without doing that, just by using sensors.
Yeah, and when we were talking and planning this episode, we remembered that in Dive to Survive, which we did a few years ago, the high-speed shot of this above-water, I think, 5-pound explosion was really, really beautiful. And we wanted to tell a nice story. So yes, it did make things awkward, but for us, the storytelling made it worth it. Next question, was this the first time you'd ever been in a tornado? Remember when that dust devil captured us on the boat for a second?
Yeah.
We almost both lost our hats at once.
I've been in circumstances like that in boats before.
You've been in hurricanes.
In hurricanes, but even out in on the water when it's gusty and wind is swirling and stuff. But no, technically, I've not ever been in a tornado.
It was far out. I mean, it was really weird. It was just like getting hit by a truck. Next question. If a tree fell in a wood when no one was watching, would it make a sound? That's a philosophical question, really, because it does make sound waves, but is a sound simply a sound wave, or is it a sound wave coupled with someone to actually listen to that sound? So it depends upon your definition. I say sound is a wave, whether or not someone's hearing it. So yes, the tree does make a sound.
I would agree with that.
All right. Last question. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. There have been a lot of MythBusters copycats over the years, and now you guys are leaving. I'm braced for a load more. What is your favorite copycat show, or will you be creating your own? I have to say, there's a couple that I really like. I love sports science. I actually think that's a terrific sort of MythBuster. They took a lot of stuff we've done on MythBusters and leapt from that. I also love online. I love the slow-mo guys, who I think are direct descendants of MythBusters' legacy. We're one of the first to really popularize high-speed shots every single week. The slow-mo guys do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, as far as either of us are concerned, anybody that is doing science and doing good science, getting it out there and where people can see it is a good thing.
Yep, absolutely. So as far as we're concerned, the more Mythbuster clones, the better. I'd love another show just like ours to become a hit. We need more of this kind of stuff on television. That's it for the Mythbusters After Show. Thanks for joining us for this After Show revisit episode, and we will see you guys soon. Thanks.